Hello, I'm Jim Cummings, the writer and director of The Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Beta Test, and you are listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 387, where tonight we will be talking about 1975's Jaws in honor of its 50th anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? 50 years since Jaws graced the screen, terrified audiences, made them afraid to go into the water. It's amazing. I'm here, of course, as always, with Steve and Todd. And Steve, we have not one, but two interviews this week.
That's right. Well, you did them because I
I did.
unfortunately was working this week. But we have it's two interviews, but three people. So that's what we're doing, and they are with the director and stars of the new movie Alma and the Wolf, which you can see in theaters. The director being Michael Patrick Jann, and the stars being Lee Jun Lee, who we just saw in Sinners, which was awesome, and Ethan Embry, which you saw in a lot of stuff, probably in the 90s and 2000s. So, yeah, very cool get, and stay tuned at the end of the episode for those interviews.
Yes, and I will put my review with the movie as well during what watched. So, yeah, that's very, very cool. Todd, what's new, man?
What's new? I
Movie's
don't know.
done. We
Movie's
watched it.
done. Movie's done. Everyone's watched it.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Made a new edit,
Mm-hmm.
slight edit, so nothing major, but thanks to some feedback and I'm done.
Todd's done.
So,
No, you get the wraparound. We get the
well,
wraparound.
I know that, but that's scheduled and that's
Yeah.
gonna be all of us present, so
All right.
yep.
Very good. And
Mhm.
then lastly, Steve, Movie Club Shark Month
Yes.
coming up just next week.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to review Sharktopus versus Terracuda, which, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with that. I mean, this first Sharktopus was actually pretty decent, so hopefully the third film in the series is just as good.
Excellent. And finally, we have a big interview that we can tease for next week because Steve and I just wrapped it about an hour ago, where we got to interview a true legend of the horror genre, Miss Lynn Shay, of course, from the Insidious franchise, from Nightmare on Elm Street, from Detroit Rock City, from Kingpin, from you know her from everything. She's an amazing. She is truly a legend. We got to talk to her about her new movie, House of Abraham, and you will hear it next week. She was amazing, and we'll talk about it next week. But very cool. Definitely one of our biggest gets ever, and it was awesome. Alrighty, gentlemen. So now I think it is time to start the show and get into what watched. So tell me, what you been watching this week?
All right, I'll go first. So, of course, this is a little different than what we do usually. So, usually for Shark Week, we do both a good and bad shark film. But this year was different because we had to celebrate 50 years of Jaws, and it happens a month before Shark Week. So, we're just splitting that episode in two, essentially. So, we're doing Jaws this week, and then for actual Shark Week, we're going to do the bad one, which is going to be Shark Exorcist 2, which I'm really looking forward to. So because of that, it's still a Shark Week to me. So I have two shark movies that I watched for this episode. The first one is a movie I watched over on Tubi, of course, and that is 2018's Megalodon, which stars Michael Madsen and a bunch of other people that I don't know. So Megalodon is about so it's a U.S. warship, and they're kind of cruising around, and they get pinged that there's a submarine in distress in the bottom of the ocean. The submarine got sank by a Megalodon, so they send a like little sub down to save the people in it, and it ends up being kind of these Russian suspect characters that they save out of that submarine, and then on their way back up the shark attacks that little submarine, and then up to the warship to rescue them and then deal with the Megalodon, as well as to find out what the Russians' true purpose was for being there in the first place, and whatever happens with them on the warship. So this movie, it's a sci-fi movie. It's exactly what you would expect. There aren't a lot of kills, unfortunately. The acting, although I will say they tried hard, is not good. I mean, it's just not good. The dialogue is absolute shit. The CGI is pretty awful all around, but it has three good things. Number one, the shark is actually fucking terrifying, which is great because that's what you want in a movie like this. Like every time the megalodon showed up, it was actually a really cool scene. So I love that. Number two, Michael Madsen's actually in it quite a bit. You would think with a name like that, usually they throw in a name on a movie like that and they show up for like 2 minutes. And that's not the case here. He actually has quite a few scenes, which is really cool. And number three, the ending is so fucking ridiculous that it actually made me laugh out loud. Like it is bonkers, dumb, but in the best way. So almost for that one scene alone, I think I gave it an extra half star. So yeah, check it out. It's on Tubi. I give it 1.5 stars because it's still not a good film, but you could do worse than this one. So that's Megalodon 2018. Check it out.
Alrighty. I'll go next, I suppose. My first watch tonight, I'll go right for our interview movie. 2025's Alma and the Wolf. This one, of course, stars Ethan Embry and Lee, who I got to interview. You'll hear it at the end of the episode. Yeah, but this one is now, it's available as of today, actually, so you can check it out on VOD. But it is about basically Ethan Embry is a cop in this very, very small town. He is doing patrol. He runs into Alma, who was is just covered in blood, basically walking down the street. She claims she was attacked by a wolf, and no one believes her because she's basically like the town drunk. But Ethan Embry's character sort of believes her. They have like a bit of a history, small towns, everyone kind of knows each other and stuff. They went to high school together and whatnot. And he starts investigating in this small town to find this wolf. During the investigation, his son goes missing. And it's him, the rest of the movie, trying to find the wolf, trying to figure out what happened to his son. And a bunch of stuff happens from there. I'll leave it there. Yeah, overall, I gotta say, I enjoyed this one. It was, it's always hit or miss when we get these screener movies, but I do think this is definitely one of the winners we got. It's really well acted by everyone. Ethan Embry, I've always been a fan of, obviously, since the 90s. He was like my youth growing up with movies like Can't Hardly Wait and Empire Records and stuff like that. So, and he's great in this. Lee from Sinners this year. She was also in the Extras TV show. I was trying to remember what she was on that, considering we fucking reviewed that
I think
whole
she was in season two.
series. Maybe. I don't know. It said she was in like 10 episodes of the
Yeah,
series.
I'm pretty
so.
sure I remember it, but in the second season,
Okay.
you didn't watch that one, I don't think.
Gotcha. No, I don't believe so. But yeah, so they're your basically our two main characters in here. But yeah, man, they both. I mean, great performances all around. My biggest complaint about the movie goes, it goes into some very metaphorical and territory of like not knowing what's real and what's not, and trying to decipher what's real and what's not. My biggest issue is that they really kind of mess up the ending a bit by like spoon feeding the audience like exactly what everything is at the end, and I kind of wish they left it more ambiguous because I think it would have been better had they left it at that rather than kind of spell everything out. So that is my biggest complaint about the movie. My other complaint is about the wolf. I think the design of the wolf wasn't great, but the story is really good, and it has a very good message as well. So overall, I dug it. I gave it 3 out of 5. Not gonna make my top 10 or anything like that, but I think it's definitely a solid watch. So I would recommend it. So that's this year's Alma and the Wolf. Check it out.
Alrighty. Also, this year's 2025 Death of a Unicorn, which I know Joseph watched. This one has Paul Rudd and everyone's favorite girl right now. I forget her name, so I guess she's not my favorite girl, but she's in there.
Jenna
Help me out here.
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. There you go. And Paul Rudd is like this like executive, and he's going up to his boss's like giant estate in the middle of nowhere mountains, right? Because they're trying to like get him to be the it guy, because apparently the leader of the company and the leader of this family is very ill, and he's gonna pass, and he wants someone to take care of his kids and his wife and all that shit, right? So with the family business, so he goes up there. But he runs into a unicorn, dude. This is a spoiler. It happens in fucking 5 minutes. Plus, is the name of the movie. Hit a unicorn, and it has weird powers, dude. If you get the blood on you, it might heal some wounds. It might make your eyesight better. It might make Jenna Ortega's acne go away and shit like that. So they try to hide the body in the car. They go to the family, try to be normal. But then the unicorn's not dead, dude. And now the family, who's, rich assholes, figure out that they have this unicorn that might solve sicknesses and problems. And oh, wait a minute. The main guy, the head boss man, is sick. So could the unicorn save him? I don't know. But there are other unicorns in the forest that are pissed off. So now we're following along. It's Paul Rudd and his daughter try to figure out like the legend of the fucking unicorn or some shit like that, while the family tries to be sleazy and steal the unicorn's powers and stuff like that. I love the concept, but as the film went on, it kind of outwore its welcome for me. Like I didn't need to know about all like the lore of the unicorn and how a fair maiden needs to save the day, shit like that. So overall, I still like the concept, and I thought the acting was pretty cool. And I always like Will Porter, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's always a good character, great actor, and of course Paul Rudd. So I give it a 3 out of 5. I'm not going to make my top 10 or anything like that, but it's serviceable. And that's Death of the Unicorn, currently on VOD.
All right. My second one this week is a another movie I watched over on Tubi, and that is 2016's Ozark Sharks. So this is one of the movies that was up for a vote for the movie club pick, and it came second. It didn't win, and I was curious, why are people picking this one so much? It's I kind of picked it out of nowhere when I put it in there, so maybe people did their research. And this is exactly what you would expect. It's just they're having a regatta at the Ozarks, and there's a shark that's killing people, within the town. And as the regatta is approaching, got a shitty mare. It's got the whole deal that you would expect out of a shark movie. The twist here being that, and you find this out pretty early, so it's not a big spoiler, but there are multiple sharks that come into play, and so they're left dealing with all the sharks as opposed to just one. This is a very standard shark film. However, it knows what it is. It knows it's a ridiculous film. And although the kills, when sharks kill humans, it isn't all that interesting. But the ways that they kill the sharks is fucking hilarious. Like they go all out in these really insane ways to kill these sharks. And that's where I think the movie shows kind of its genius is it's more about how they kill the sharks and how they kill the humans. So you don't have to like dispatch people and make it complicated. Unfortunately, that means a lot of CGI, and that CGI, of course, is not great. So you'll have to excuse that. But honestly, it's not a bad watch. I actually liked it better than Megalodon, which took it a little bit more seriously. This one has more fun with it. Characters, they kind of make jokes and stuff like that. Some of them are over the top. So yeah, it's a very passable, fun shark movie. Not one of my favorites or anything, but maybe one people can check out. So that is Ozark Sharks over on Tubi, which I gave a 2 out of 5 stars.
Excellent. My final one tonight. It's not something I watched yet. I was supposed to watch it this week, but I worked 3 doubles at work. I had no time, unfortunately.
Give me your boss's email. I'm emailing this guy.
But I'm going to review it for next week's podcast. But the movie is called Found Footage: The Making of the Patterson Project. We were sent a screener by the studio, so I appreciate that. It hits theaters this Friday, actually, but it will hit digital release next week, June 24th. So I'll review it for next week's episode. But it's produced by Radio Silence, which already piques my interest a little bit. But it is a horror mockumentary, so it is about a bunch of filmmakers that attempt to make a movie about Bigfoot. So it sounds really cool. I'm really excited to check it out. Seems like it's more horror comedy than straight horror. But yeah, if you want to check it out, it comes in theaters Friday, but I'll review it on next week's podcast. So if you want to wait for my review, you'll hear it next week. So yeah, once again, that is Found Footage, The Making of the Patterson Project, in theaters Friday and on digital next week, June 24th.
Very cool. All right, my last one is a Friday the 13th, Friday this past week, and I watched the beloved 2001 Jason X. I use beloved loosely because, man, I just bought the Arrow release, which is a really fucking cool 4K release. So, if obviously, if you're a physical collector, go grab it. However, definitely one of the weakers in the series there, and unfortunately, it remains at where I had it at, which is 2.5 out of 5. Basically, Jason's been captured, and they're going to put him in stasis sleep or whatever. So they succeed in that. He does kill a victim, she gets frozen with him. Fast forward a couple thousand years or whatever it is, and the Earth is dead, and these like explorers come and they find Jason Voorhees, and they take him and his victim up to their ship where they thaw him out. And of course, some people know about the legend. This legend of Jason Voorhees. Oh my God! Like we got to use him because he can regenerate and he can be a huge military and medicine industrial asset. Let's go. And then Jason breaks out, of course, and starts killing off everyone on the ship. Oh boy, man! Like I I love the concept of Jason X, man. Like doing something new, going to space. It's fun. The concept is cool. Kane Hodder, I don't like his performance, man. I don't like the heavy breathing. It's so over the top. It's distracting. Um, but then like you get to the android stuff and it's just so cringy and so awful, man. This guy has this android and it's like his sex bot, and of course they fucking kiss, dude. And he ends up enlisting her to fight Jason, and she has like one-liners that are corny. And then Jason, love it or leave it, he gets turned into a robot version of himself because he gets in like a repair unit after she defeats him, and he gets, we get Uber Jason. He's, metal and shit like that. So it has some fun moments, but it's just so corny and so polished, to the point where it's like it looks like a sci-fi, like one of the movies Steve just watched. It looks like a sci-fi picture original. Everything's bright. Doesn't have a lot of heart, and yeah, it's just whatever. So I give it a 2.5 out of 5. And like I said, if you like the physical collection, go grab the Jason X 4K because I think that's the best version of the film you're ever going to get.
Can you think of like a good horror movie that ever went to space, like franchise, or like what the best one is?
Leprechaun's pretty funny. Like
I've
never seen
terrible though.
I wouldn't say it's
maybe we should review. Actually, I'm gonna put out that we'll probably review that at some point. Now it's gonna be my pick one of these days. We haven't done like many Leprechaun movies, have we? Maybe just the original,
one, right? But that was in the different show too.
I don't think we did any since we've
Leprechauns?
been on this podcast. Yeah.
All right,
I haven't seen past 2.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've actually never seen. I've never seen the In the Hoods.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Are those the third and fourth films?
No, 4 is 5 space. And 6. Yeah, 5 and 6. 3 is actually I actually like. That's when they go to Vegas.
Casino,
right? Yeah, that one's fun.
Vaguely familiar on that one. The Leprechauns and Hellraisers are the ones I never watched the whole series. Well, obviously Amityville, because fuck that, it's 20-something film. So.
Well, at some point, like the Amityville movies have nothing to do with Amityville at all. It's just like they were able to use the name, so they just like.
I mean, Jaws is more of an Amityville movie than all those fucking movies. So.
I'm actually disappointed about what watched because none of you talked about Special Delivery. So.
Well, we can't.
Some bullshit.
The embargo's like fucking March 2026.
This embargo sucks.
I got to watch 2 versions of it, so
that's true.
Yeah, Joe's like, it's amazing, it's great. Me like fucking like all these notes.
Well, technically, you the sun and the fucking moon didn't match in the. Shut up, Steve. It's actually pretty fun seeing all the continuity stuff. Where I mean, if you really look for stuff, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fun. So anyway, what next?
All right. Now, Steve stole my thunder. Sorry.
That's right.
Well,
redo it, but keep it in. Redo it, but keep it in.
It's trivia. It's trivia. Just get the scores. I don't give a fuck.
Get the scores. All right. The People's Champion, myself in the lead with 21 to Steve 17 to Joe's 11, which we have this and next week's episode. And I think that's it, right?
That's it for the quarter. Yep.
Man, if I win, I've been holding on to this one movie. Man. It saw me on Tubi, and I'm like, holy shit. Oh, and it's like 2 hours long too. So that's even
Oh,
better.
God damn it. Those are the worst.
No.
Yeah. All right. Let's do
Although
this. You
Jaws
guys,
2 hours 2 minutes, and I did not mind watching
Yeah, that's a
Jaws.
different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
not a wasted second. All right, Steve, pick between 322 and 333.
324.
All right, 324. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, so if you haven't, we'll pick another one. In The Deadly Spawn, 1983. Seen that? No? Okay.
Worth watching?
I'd have to look at my letterbox. I don't know. All right, moving on to question 326. In Dreamcatcher 2003, have you both seen it?
Yep.
Cool. What is the
Nope.
code name? No, damn it, fucking.
So we continue from
Stephen King
327.
movie, I know that.
All right, you guys have both seen this because we covered it. In Immaculate 2024,
Yes.
what is the ultra holy item in the Covenant's possession?
Piece of the cross?
I think it's the nail.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a nail. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So close.
Joseph on the board.
Yes, that has the blood
Yeah.
of Christ on it. Yeah, and they're able to
They
Right.
clone Jesus, right?
spoiled the whole fucking movie for those who
Well,
haven't
you know
seen
what?
it.
If you listen to our episode, then you spoiled it.
Yeah, that's not what you're watching it for anyway.
All right.
You watch you watch for a couple reasons.
Yes, for Sydney Sweeney's bath soap.
Right.
Okay.
Surprisingly affordable.
Which I too, Steve. I know you're on *Handmaid's Tale*, and I just got to. Sydney Sweeney is also makes an appearance in
that was
*Handmaid's
shocking.
Tale* as well. Yeah,
I don't know if
younger Sydney Sweeney.
I don't know if I told you guys this, but yeah. So I just binged all 6 seasons, and
I am on season 4 currently.
Okay. We had a conversation 2 weeks ago, which is the same week that I finished a show, where we're talking about Saw and Spiral and the fucking stupid voice in Spiral. And only when I was editing that episode did it dawn on me that fucking guy is one of the main actors in Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, he's a driver.
I never made the fucking connection.
Neither did I
This
until you
whole
said it.
6 seasons of watching him, and I'm like, I never fucking made the connection. I was like, wow, mind blown.
I gave up on that show. They kept doing the same thing over and over again.
The first season's good. The last season's good. The middle is fucking slow.
It's slow, but it has some really great stuff in there, like here and there. But man, my biggest, I mean, it's like the amount of plot armor though that
of course
June has is insane. Like it gets like a little like okay, like she
Right.
at least should have had her fucking arm cut off or something.
By this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I just hated like how she would slow motion stare in the camera
every
minutes.
episode.
Every episode,
Every episode ends with her staring at the camera. in
Right.
slow motion.
But if you think about it in like real person's terms, if all three of us were in a room and I suddenly did that, you would think I was having a seizure or something. Like no one's acknowledging like June, like, are you okay?
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
Aunt Lydia is great though. Fucking love that actress.
You would that's your dream queen right there.
That actress, man.
She's great. She's great in everything. Yeah, she's fucking.
She's amazing. I forget her name, but
amazing.
she's fucking awesome.
It's Anne
Hereditary. Yeah.
She was amazing in The Leftovers, which is another show that there's only 3 seasons. So.
That's a show that I got halfway through and jumped off, but I gotta jump on. Yeah, I gotta finish it.
That's where Jasmine Savoy Brown debuted, I think. As well, so.
Really?
All right, someone's turn.
Awesome. Mine.
Go. Okay, you go.
Okay. All right. Well, no surprise. Shark themed trivia for this week. So let's start off. In the movie Jaws.
Seen it
Ooh,
recently.
hopefully very recently, considering we're reviewing it tonight.
Yep.
What is the pattern on the mare's sports coat?
Oh, it's anchor.
Oh, it's anchors.
Yes, it is anchors. Correct.
He loves that fucking anchor jacket, man.
Hey, it's the brand, dude. He's on the island. 4th of July weekend. You're not gonna fuck up my 4th of July town. The town depends on this money. I'm gonna spoiler alert. Is the mayor a bad guy? We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll discuss. We'll discuss. Massive for anyone near the area. Massive celebration this weekend at Martha's Vineyard.
That's so
the
cool.
Jaws 50th. Yep.
Dude, you gotta. I mean, why
20th through the 22nd. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours away, but also you got to take it's on an island, so you do have to take a ferry to get over there too. I probably should have though for the shindig, but I didn't realize it was happening until like 2 weeks ago that it was that week. So I was just like, it's a lot to get down there.
It is.
All right. Also a shark themed week for me, so that narrows it down a little bit.
And Sharktopus 17, which
So this is as easy as it gets, really.
Okay.
Guess the movie by the plot. I'm just going to read you the
Wow.
IMDb plot. So let's
All
see if
right.
you guys know it. I think you do. Studying the effects of climate change off the coast of Mozambique.
Under Paris?
Wrong.
Oh shit.
whoa, early shot, dude. I love it.
Okay, studying the effects of climate change off the coast of Mozambique, a marine biologist and her team confront three genetically enhanced bull sharks. Now, a new bloodbath is waiting to happen in the name of science. Will humans never learn?
We watched this.
We never do learn. That's a rule.
Did we review this?
We did not. No.
We did not. Okay.
Mozambique.
I know that plot.
Three bull shark. Yeah,
We've
plot's-
talked about it, but we've never
Alright.
actually reviewed it.
Okay.
Three
I
bull
think
sharks. It's not Shark Attack, but I'm gonna say Shark Attack with Casper Van Dien.
Wrong. You guys want another guess?
yes.
Sure.
Is it Deep Blue Sea Part
Here he is.
3?
Correct. Deep
Yes.
Blue Sea Part 3.
Pulled it out of his
The
butthole.
shittiest one of the.
I was really gonna say Part 2, but I was like, I think it's Part 3.
Yeah, we reviewed the first one, but not the other two. So
I think 3 has a really cool poster, doesn't it?
I
She's
was-
floating.
I
it's a
remember
big
kind
shark.
of.
It's nothing.
I remember kind of liking it. Part 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll get to it probably.
All right. Joe, 388 through 400.
392.
392. Okay, be quick. What is the frustrated army captain's name in 1985's Day of the Dead?
Rhodes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Captain Rhodes to you, Steve.
Not to me. He's
Captain Rhodes, son of a bitch. All right.
Alrighty. Guess the movie based on the IMDb information. This movie was released in the year 2017
Cool.
with a PG-13 rating.
Oh wow.
The Meg.
Clocking incorrect. Clocking in at 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Tight.
Categorized as survival,
Yep, gotta do it.
horror,
Mm-hmm.
mystery, and thriller. Currently sitting at a 5.6 out of 10 over on IMDb with a Metascore of 52 out of 100. Director, Johannes Roberts. Starring, Chris Johnson, Yanni Gelman, Santiago Segura,
Santiago.
Claire Holt, and Matthew Modine.
I love Matthew Modine. It's great.
I don't even know who that is.
Good.
Good for
Good
Steven.
for Steven.
Yeah. I can't say that.
Tagline. Stay out of the water.
You gotta stay out of it. I don't know
Yeah.
why people don't get to stay out.
Tagline number 2. No help. No hope.
Oh.
No escape.
I have a guess.
Me too.
Tagline number
I'm waiting
3.
for.
Well, you
I'm
gotta
waiting
wait.
for you. That's why. Yeah.
I'll take them all. I'll take all the hints.
Tagline number 3.
Mm-hmm.
No help above.
Right.
No hope below.
Right. Because I believe it's the Mandy Moore starring groundbreaking thing, which I can't remember the name of. Stupid fucking Mandy Moore with that shark cage thing and it falls and 37 meters below.
47 meters, but
47 meters down. You're close enough.
close enough. Yeah.
Thank you.
Correct.
The sequel I think is pretty decent actually.
Yeah.
If you guys see it.
Uncaged.
It was Uncaged. Yep.
Yeah, they're in like a cave or something.
Yep. Yeah, it was something like. I think it was like a shallow cave. It was weird.
Yeah.
Because they're like stuck in between at one point, but because they're able to like come up above the cave, but there's like stuck up there. I don't know. Whatever. It was good. It was pretty good. It was better than the first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Tagline. You have to be quick on this one. You're gonna get stalked.
Oh, Sharks of the Corn.
Correct.
Oh gosh, so amazing of a poster.
We reviewed it.
We did.
Yeah. Fantastic
It was
poster.
fucking terrible.
It was. Indeed, it was. It was like,
All
that
right,
was another one
Steven.
that was like over 2 hours long, too.
Yeah,
I
God.
don't know what these
Oh.
indie guys are doing, man. Let's not do
Uh,
2 hour films, please. All right, Steve, 1,142 to 1,153.
Let's go 50.
All right. All right, in what Friday the 13th will you find Final Girl Chris?
Chris.
It's Final Girl Chris. What Friday the 13th film? First name, Chris.
I will guess.
Everyone gets one guess because it's process of elimination.
Sure.
So dig deep.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Jason
I'm
Goes
gonna
to
go-
Hell.
Incorrect. Jason Goes to Hell.
I'm gonna go the remake.
Remake incorrect. The correct answer would be Friday the 13th Part 3.
Ah.
The movie he gets his hockey mask.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right. 3 letterbox reviews.
Hmm.
Can you guess the movie?
Try.
Number 1. I enjoyed this movie so much. The CGI in this and the whole plot makes it so entertaining. Tons of shark scenes, which is very much appreciated. For sure, my love for sharks is alive once again.
Yeah.
Number 2. You know what? Overall, it's a crap movie and terrible CGI and a goofy ass plot, but the kills and the gags around them are pretty damn funny.
Ghost Shark?
It is Ghost Shark.
Wow. Steve's
Correct.
coming. You guys
And
are
that
coming
was
out hot
that
tonight.
was Todd's review.
Yeah, I'm always mean.
I left out fuck those kids at the fire hydrant.
Yeah.
Ghost Shark. Oh, Ghost Shark. When he like comes out of puddles and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was last year's bad shark.
It was
movie.
last
Yeah.
year's, and it was good, man. I like that one. Speaking of Ghost Shark, in Ghost Shark,
Oh no.
a kid steals a car so he can go to a bikini car wash.
Oh my god, yes.
As one does.
Classic.
What does his shirt say?
Oh.
Beer and titties.
Yeah.
Wrong. You're in the right
Yeah.
realm.
Right.
We talked about it quite a bit in the review, I
Oh,
think.
man. Was it like Who Farted or something?
It's not, but it's good. You guys want one more guess? I'll say it's an appropriate shirt for what he's doing. That'll be my hint.
Okay.
I shaved my balls for this.
No.
Flash him.
Flash.
No,
Ooh,
the
I like
answer was honk if you're horny.
Oh, nice. Classic.
That movie is so fucking like it's
Classic.
way better than it deserves
Oh,
to be.
man. When I went to Vegas my first time, I had a shirt that said "Blow me for luck" and it had 2 like dice on it.
Jeez.
I thought I was so cool.
So cool, dude.
I
How old were you?
had
Last
the
year?
man, the legend with the arrows pointing.
Oh yeah.
Another cool shirt.
Yeah.
God damn.
The shirt you wear when you're in your 20s, I guess.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing to look at pictures. Like, god damn it.
All right. That's it, Totter. What we got?
I already zeroed it out. But you guys scored high with 3 apiece with my 1, which brings us to, I think, by memory, me 22, Steve 20, and Joe like 15 or something
Oh
like that.
man, we got a game for the quarter now.
Got a game. Got a game.
All righty. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And now it is time for our main event of the evening, 1975's Jaws. Directed by Steven Spielberg. Is this our first Spielberg movie ever? Probably, right?
Probably. There's
don't
not a
think
whole
so.
lot of horror to
No.
pull from, right? So
Yeah. And starring Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, and Roy Schneider as Brody. Plot. When a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Long Island, it's up to a local sheriff, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. Is it off Long Island?
Amity
Is that
Island.
even right? It's like supposed to take place in Massachusetts, right? I always assumed
Yeah.
the whole time.
Well, they
Long
say
Island's-
Amity
they,
Island.
they even joke about the accents and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like Long Island's in New York, is it not?
Well, he's from New York though,
He
Brody.
is from New York, yeah.
So maybe that's what they mean.
But it says on a beach community off Long Island.
Maybe they mean like off away from New York and
IMDb is just
whatever,
not-
dude.
They're fucking up.
Put
But,
me in, tag me
You know,
in.
that's why we have the best
Mm.
plot synopsizer Maybe in
Sounds
I'm
like
not even gonna
it.
say the world, the universe. Fuck the
See,
E.T. and his family don't get
suck it,
nothing like
aliens.
Todd.
I want to hear you say a synopsis. Aliens.
Yep.
All right, Amity Island, 1975. Okay, some people are on the beach, dude. They're having fun. They're drinking booze. They have a little fire going in the water. Uh-oh, this dude's giving this chick the eyes. She's giving him right back, dude. Are they gonna bang, dude? Are we gonna bang? I don't know. We'll see. She takes off running. She's like, "Come get me, motherfucker!" Starts taking off her clothes. He's like, "Hell yeah, I'm in." He's a little drunk though, right? He's falling down. She's like, "Let's go skinny dipping." Runs in the water, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm too drunk." He falls over, passes out like a fucking loser, dude. But she swims out to the little what's it called, buoy kind of thing, whatever it's called, and she gets attacked by an unseen attacker in the water. Of course, it's a shark. Very violent. She's screaming. Cut to the next day, we get introduced to Brody. He's the chief of police, right? He doesn't like the island. He doesn't like the water, dude. He's fucking doesn't like it. He gets the call to go down to the beach, and because the boyfriend or the guy she was with is like, hey, I don't know what happened to her, dude, but they find her body washed up on the shore, torn to pieces, right? Brody thinks it's a fucking shark, but the mayor, he's like, no, it's not a fucking shark. It was a boating accident. Don't you fucking put shark attack in this, dude. We got 4th of July weekend coming. We're a small island community. We have to have these tourist money come in here. Don't fucking put shark attack, asshole. So he's like, all right, fine. He calls Hooper, who's a young scientist from the Oceanography Institute, whatever you want to call it, played by Richard Dreyfuss. He comes over and he's like, "This is a fucking shark attack, dude. What are you guys doing?" And of course, the mayor's like, "It's not a fucking shark attack." And then Brody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to you because I don't know shit about sharks, dude. I'm following your lead." Quint, this old fisherman on the island, right? You know the thing about shark? He's got lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. There's my Quint. And he's like, "You're dealing with a fucking shark, dude. You give me money, I'll go fucking kill the shark for you, dude." And then meanwhile, the shark's running a rampage. He's killing kids, he's attacking people. No one believes him until eventually the three men, Hooper, Quint, and Brody, go on a fishing expedition to kill this fucking shark. I love this movie, man. This one scarred me when I was a young boy to this day. I go in the pool, I'm thinking about Jaws. I go in the spa, I'm thinking about Jaws. I go in the fucking ocean. Fuck, dude. If I see a bag in the ocean, I'm freaking out. Yeah, it's the characters are great. The acting phenomenal. Everyone plays their part extremely well. But Quint, man, he steals a fucking show, dude. Whenever he talks, I'm just like drawn into his stories. I just want to hang out with him, right? And you think he's an asshole too, but he also has a huge heart, which he shows throughout the film, especially towards Chief Brody there. But long story short, I love this film. Aged extremely well, and I think I know what you guys think about it. But what do you guys think?
Yes. That's what I think. Thank you. No, Jaws. I mean, God. I mean, we haven't reviewed this movie because what is there to say about Jaws? It is just an absolute classic movie. Grew up with it. Obviously, I mean, being from Massachusetts, it's shameful. I should probably lose my horror card for never getting down to Martha's Vineyard and seeing some of the filming locations from this movie, but that will change. That will change in due time for sure. But yeah, man, it's been a while. Actually, I mean, it's fucking on like all the time, obviously. It's the quintessential 4th of July movie. So anytime, probably the perfect summer movie, as well. But yeah, it had been a minute since I probably sat down and watched it in its entirety. And yeah, man, it really is just like a perfect movie. And even at 2 hours, like there's never a dull moment. Like Todd had said, like it does not waste a second really. Your three sort of main characters, they don't all really get together until about an hour into the movie, which I noticed this time around. But everything leading up to sort of them getting onto the boat is just so sort of interesting. You have so many sort of different plot points going on with, all the people in this small town, which Spielberg just captures sort of that small town feel like really perfectly. There's always like something interesting happening, and the characters are all extremely interesting as well. You have Quint, who is like the quintessential sort of badass, obviously. Like he's sort of the original badass, crush it like Quint, right? With the beer and stuff. Yeah, man, they really are the perfect sort of ragtag group to go out there. And once they, the movie. even like before that, it's so interesting. But once they finally get out onto that water, the three of them together, it's really is just perfection. And despite all the issues you hear about this movie behind the scenes with the shark not working and everything, that shark still looks fucking awesome to this day. Like it still looks great. It's still terrifying. Yeah, man. It's really is like the best shark movie. Nothing has even come close since. And yeah.
Yeah, I put this movie in the same category as like I put The Exorcist, where every like film in this subgenre of horror is like measured to that bar, and that bar is so fucking high that no one will ever achieve it probably. So it's like just one of those amazing classics that it's like easily the best shark film out there. And there are fucking tons of these. I watch this one quite often, every year or two, I'd say at the most. In fact, when I moved into my current house, the first thing I did here was redesign one of my bathrooms into a Jaws themed bathroom, because I fucking just love this movie so much, and I love shark films, and it's just such a cool film, and it has a lot of layers to it, like the act structures are really like well defined, and the characters are really interesting. You really get to know them like slowly, they develop throughout the course of the film. And there's so many memorable moments. And another thing, like two things you guys didn't really touch on that, I mean, I know but one, the score. John Williams is such a classic score. Like you can't think of a shark and not think of that fucking classic score that he wrote for this movie. And the other one, Steven Spielberg's directing and like shot choices and like the cinematography and everything like that. It's really cool. Like the scene, for example, when Brody first sees a shark like in the water, it's like it's pulling away from him while also like zooming into him, and it gives this really like kind of surreal effect. He does a lot of these like really interesting shots that he only does once in the film, but it's very effective. You have the same thing when Quint is at the top of the ship and looking down like on his boat and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a brilliant fucking movie. There's so many great things in it. I wrote a bunch of notes. Like some of them is just kind of funny observations. Some of them is just things that I'm like really impressed by. I mean, the gore is good. Like a lot of it's off screen, but the bodies and stuff that you see, like the damage is just so fucking gross, and it's amazing. I can't say enough good things about this fucking film.
Is it a horror movie? That's always the biggest debate that people say.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
I think so too. Watching it this time, I could see why people would say it's not. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a creature feature. It's a shark, and fucking people get destroyed. So yeah,
So,
I definitely
so
think there's
why
enough there.
why is this one a horror movie but not Jurassic Park?
I mean, it's a good question, right?
Right? So they're kind of like
It's
similar
a
in the way
tone.
that
It's a tone, in my opinion.
I don't know, like
Because Jaws goes through goes for like let's scare you tone, and Jurassic Park let's go like for an adventure tone. In my
Jurassic
the
Park has some very horrific moments, like
The
the
T-Rex
rap,
and
the
the Raptors
T-Rex
are both
intro.
fucking like
we're
Yeah.
not talking about Jurassic Park right now, all right?
I was always curious because a lot of people will say, yeah, this one's a horror, no
It's
doubt,
it's
but
because they don't want to fucking admit it's a horror movie if they're not really horror fans. I think
yeah, it's just one of
that's the
those
thing.
kind of weird like things to me.
Hmm.
So let's talk about the mayor, man. So I see his side of things, man.
Hmm.
He's in charge of this town, and we're not going off what happens in the book because it's a completely separate thing and they're completely different. So he's worried about the town's livelihood, man. There's a small town and they need tourist dollars because we have the scene where they're arriving for the weekend and it's a fuck ton of people, dude. So like if you say, hey, there's a man-eating shark off the coast, these people are not going to come. Now that being said, it's absolutely the wrong choice to not warn people or to do something about it. But I don't think it's black and white. He's a villain as history would show us. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he's a politician, right? So he's doing his typical politician thing. Um, but yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think it's as black and white as they make it out to be. Because you're right. Like, this town could literally like fold if those tourist dollars aren't coming in. It's also the biggest weekend of the entire year for that town and stuff. So yeah, he's trying to save that town that could potentially go under. People will go bankrupt, businesses will lose out on everything. So I get it, but I mean, his at the same time, like, you know, uh those people, their blood is on his hands, you know.
Yeah, hire Quint, dude.
I mean that I mean, you know, and that's another, I mean, that scene where fucking the mother comes, you
Mm.
know, and slaps, you know, Brody and blames him. I mean, and she's right. Like you know, she's not wrong. Like
Her aggression is the wrong person, though. It should be the mayor, which she doesn't know.
not I mean,
Because even the mayor says you didn't deserve that.
he's just as guilty though. I mean, he
Brody
went
is?
along. Yeah, he went along with it. Like he could have went against the mayor. He's the chief of police there. But it was he was in a, you know, he was conflicted, but if he wanted to do the right thing, he could have, and he could have said something to the town, but he didn't. So I think he's just as guilty as the mayor, if you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a little more black and white though, because like if you reverse the roles and put like instead of a shark, it's like an active shooter, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
you go to a convention, which is only one weekend every year,
Right.
and there's an active shooter, someone dies, they evacuate the convention, and then they let people back in, someone else dies, they evacuate it again, and then they're like, "Well, we didn't find the other shooter, but I'm sure it's fine." Like, just
Yeah.
going back into the convention, I can't lose
Fair.
money. It's like they didn't. He didn't wait. Like he couldn't wait. I know because of the business and everything. But they're all on the beach. They just couldn't swim. That's really
Right.
the thing, right? He could have been like chill, buy like here's a 20% discount on alcohol. Like just don't
Yeah.
go in the water.
Fair.
He could have mitigated this disaster, but no, he actually fucking specifically goes to tell a family, "Come on, man, go swim. Like it's
Yeah,
making me
With
look
that's
bad."
with the grandkids. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
it's
So
fucked
yeah,
up.
I think it's the mayor's pretty fucked up in this, and
Yeah.
how he's still mayor in two is a whole other fucking discussion.
And how they shit talk him into is
Yeah,
ridiculous
yeah,
too. After he like risked his life for the town, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fire you, chief." Well, shut up.
yeah.
But anyway,
But
that's another
and
story.
I do agree with Joe that Brody is not completely like you know like he has blood on his hands too because
Hmm.
he could have just gone against authority and be like try or at least try to tell people not to go in there.
So, do you
Hmm.
think that's why Brody ultimately goes on the fishing trip? Because he's not qualified at all
I
to be
think
on that
so.
boat.
I think it's a personal
Clear his
Yeah.
conscience.
vendetta in a way. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he feels responsible, obviously, and you know, and he's the chief of police, right? So I feel like he feels an obligation to go out
almost
there.
killed his kids, too. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
right. No.
Which
it's
why doesn't Bruce kill those kids in the water? He's just full from
yeah. So
the
if you
dude.
listen to Quinn's story, uh, they don't just attack to kill; they attack to eat. And he said it was only what 6 people would die per hour when he's in
Yeah.
the water there during his
Hmm.
story.
There's
So
also
this
a
just
thousand sharks, though, he said.
yeah, but this is just one shark. So if he already ate someone, he's probably not hungry right away. So that,
Which that makes sense. Which brings me to this the scariest scene I think in the movie is when that guy falls out of the boat and Jaws is just behind him. And you see that overhead shot and the shark is, turned sideways and about to, but that's the scariest fucking part to me, dude. Just that's what, the unknown underwater, like he has no idea and we see it. It's just like slow motion train wreck, man. I fucking hate that scene. It's terrifying.
Hmm.
yeah, and I like the shot of the leg, like slowly
Oh
going into
yeah.
the water and
Oof.
stuff. It's so well fucking done and
Yeah.
everything like
Hmm.
that.
So gross.
Uh,
Do you think Quint is like the fucking town pariah? Like everyone fucking hates him, and that's why they don't take him seriously when
he's
he
almost
wants
like the
to.
weird guy, right? Like the
Yeah.
like the everyone knows like who Quint is. That fucking
Yeah,
shack is
so
something
cool.
is something else.
Which I was bummed to know it wasn't a real place and they tore it down after filming. I was like, damn it, that sucks. But why didn't speaking of Quint, why didn't his first mate go on the fucking expedition
That
with
was
him?
my question too. Like,
It's a good
obviously, he's
point.
been working with him for a long time. He's always like
Yeah.
following him around and shit. But
Yeah,
I guess maybe that's part of his deal. Is like, I will do everything for you, but go on the fucking expedition.
maybe.
Hmm. Is Quint responsible for his own death, would you say? Because he pushes that boat at the end, right?
Yeah.
And
He's got a
you
vendetta,
know,
dude.
he
He
did
doesn't want to lose.
right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think yeah, he kind of cracks, right? He breaks the radio so Brody can't call for help.
Right.
And then we know the engines are fucked and he's trying to drown him, right? He's trying to bring the shark into the shallows and drown
Yeah,
him.
to the shallows, yep.
Yeah. I think that's fucking terrifying too when the shark manages to pull the boat around. I'm like, holy shit, like
Hmm.
But yeah, he obviously has a vendetta against sharks because it killed all of his fellow sailors in the Indianapolis disaster, World War II.
Hmm.
So he doesn't want to lose this fucking shark. So yeah, it leads to his death, which is another scary scene, man. Imagine
Yeah.
slowly falling into that fucking gaping
Yeah.
mouth. Holy shit.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, man, there's so many iconic, there really is so many iconic sort of scenes in this movie. What would you say is the most iconic, though? I would think it's got to be when Brody is feeding, throwing the chum in, and you see the shark for the first time, probably. But I mean, there's a few others for sure.
I think for mainstream, definitely you're gonna need a bigger boat, which
Yeah.
he's when he's
Hmm.
chumming. Um, I Smiley Son of a Bitch is always probably in the second place to that,
Hmm.
would you say? And man, there's just so many small things that are
That shot on the
just
beach
terrifying,
Steve
man.
mentioned too.
Hmm.
That you
The
know
The
first,
Zoom.
yeah, the first,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the Zoom is the one you
Mhm.
see a lot,
Yeah,
but the first scene too, like with the girl going into
yeah,
the ocean
yep,
at night to swim. A
yep.
lot of people,
Hmm.
yeah, I've seen
Got her
posters of that. Yeah,
autograph.
yeah,
Just
nice.
Nice,
perfect.
nice,
Yep.
nice, nice.
I think
You
she
got
passed away, right?
Yeah, she
Unfortunately,
passed away pretty recently, actually,
yeah,
within the last couple years. Yeah.
yeah.
you both have Dreyfus too, right?
No,
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. I met Dreyfus 5 or 6 years ago at a Monster Mania. He signed my Bruce the Shark. I have a, like Bruce the Shark Funko
Nice.
figure, and he signed that.
Are you
Yeah.
guys gonna get that shark toy thing that we discussed? The
Yeah, I think
the Jaws
NECA
thingy,
made it. Yeah, it's like a reprint of like the original
the
one
game or
from
whatever it
yeah
is.
when it came out. Yeah, yeah. I haven't pre-ordered or anything, but it's probably one I will
Yeah.
pick up
It's massive.
eventually.
I saw it at the Living Dead weekend. It was like $90, but the box is huge.
Is it?
So I thought
That's
it was like a
cool.
smaller
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm so bummed they never made the Brody action figure too, because they released Quentin Hooper, but apparently his
Right.
family like
Sucks.
they had it made. Like there's pictures of it, and then like his estate or whatever for whatever reason like shut them down at the last minute.
They don't want money, I guess.
Yeah, so it's such a bummer because you have the Quentin the Hooper figures, but there's no Brody to go with them, and they're supposed to be making a Bruce figure at some point too, like a legit one.
Wow.
Um, but we'll see.
you
So
know,
oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say, you know who the real villain is in the story though?
Ooh, all right.
It's those fucking kids with the shark fins.
Oh yeah,
They're
true.
like,
Yeah.
what
That's
the
a
fuck,
fucked up
dude?
prank, man.
Right?
Yeah,
Kids are
God
fucking
damn.
assholes, man.
Jeez.
they are.
Yeah, that was funny. It's like so out of nowhere, but it works for this film. It's like, and
Yeah.
another scare that I like it's a genuine jump scare is when Hooper's like in the ocean and
Yeah. That
the
one's
like
all
head
that's
comes out
class.
of the
Yeah.
boat. Yeah, that's a
That's
fucking
one you don't see people talking about much. And like it
yeah.
was like this time around watching it, like it's a great jump scare.
It
Like I can't
is.
I imagine people probably lost their shit in
I
theaters.
knew
Oh
it was
yeah.
coming, but because I have surround sound, it still
Hmm.
like startled me.
Yeah.
I've always hated that scene too because something about how they illuminate the water with that green light just rubs me the wrong way, man. Like I cannot stress how much I do not like the ocean. So it's like not being able to see anything is just terrifying. But
Mhm.
man, like we get a lot of what's the term where they talk about something that's gonna come back to play later? What's that called? With
Foreshadowing.
foreshadowing, yeah, with the air tank, right? Because
Yeah,
Mhm.
big
Brody
time.
Yeah.
fucks up. He's
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing, Martin? You're gonna
Mhm.
fucking blow up the blah, 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 blah." And then that's another moment where Quinn shows some heart. He's like, "Hey, Chief, like next time, just ask me. I'll take care of you." But
Mhm.
so we know something's gonna happen with those air tanks. And then lo and behold, the air tank goes in the shark's mouth. Brody gets the M1 Grand, fucking shoots that thing, blows his ass up. Oh my gosh. When he's slowly going into the water on that the crow's nest thing, the pole, and it's like level with the shark, I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking so simple but so effective, dude.
Mhm. Amazing. Have you guys, either of you ride the Jaws ride before it went
Yeah,
away
oh
at
yeah,
I
for
did
sure.
Universal?
the
Yeah,
last year
I
before
did
it
too.
closed.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome, man. It was
Honestly,
fun.
I was a little disappointed.
Oh
Really?
man,
With the
I
Yeah,
loved
blood
it.
geyser and stuff, dude, so
it
cool.
It's
just
not. I loved it. I loved it just for because of the movie. And me and Steve actually drank at the bar.
we
Oh,
did.
cool.
The yeah
Yeah.
Shea Alcatraz.
Yeah, they still have the shark like hanging up like the at the beginning of the
Hmm.
movie
Sick.
there.
Yep, it's still
Yeah.
yeah. They kept it even after the ride's gone now, and they have
Hmm.
like a shot where they pour like a red like drink out of the shark's
Out of a
mouth like
shark's
into the
mouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's yeah, it's just like for the ride, the shark. Because so I never seen it as a kid or anything. I only saw it like as an adult, right? Because like this is probably 2015 ish before they closed it. and the animatronics are like super old and slow. It's way further than to the boat than I expected because I'd always seen videos of it like coming up around the boat, but it's like fucking a good 10 feet away from the boat. So there's like zero fear. I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed despite my love of the movie. It's just one of
Hmm.
those things. So I think it was time. I'm like, it would have been cool if they redid it or something like that, especially that they fucking put like the worst ride there. But yeah, it's
Which one?
just
Is that Fast and the
it's
Furious? Is
well,
that
it's
what's
like
there
part Fast and
now?
Furious, part Jimmy
Okay.
Fallon, I think. And
Okay.
yeah, it's
Oh,
and
the
also
Jimmy
part
Fallon ride's so dumb.
Harry
Yeah, it's
Potter
It was
though,
lame.
so
yeah, it was
stupid.
also there. So yeah, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's anyway.
But they kept
Yeah.
ET
Yeah, so
forever.
apparently that's a deal with Steven Spielberg,
Yeah.
where as
He
long as
said it could
he's
never be
alive,
replaced,
it
right?
can never
Yeah.
be replaced, or it was like a deal when they opened or something.
Huh.
I
Wow.
like it. It's got its charm because it's like
Yeah.
old stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I would have preferred Jaws stayed, but
Yeah, Back to the
ET's
Future.
is ET like his baby? Like, I wonder why he decided to keep
Yeah, I
ET
think that's
over
a really
Jaws.
special one for him.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
yeah, because
Was
it has
Jaws his first?
yeah.
mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah, his first mainstream. Okay,
Mhm.
nice.
No, yeah, this movie, I mean, like, there's
It's
not
fucking cool.
a ton to say, right? Because it's so good. Like, I was thinking about it this time, trying to like think of it critically. That scene where they're drinking and he's telling his story, about
Yeah,
USS Indianapolis. In any other movie, could have been like, fuck, this is just killing the whole momentum of the film,
yeah,
because it's such a slow scene in the middle of the film, like right between big shark attack scenes. But in this one, it works so fucking well because it just calms a little bit and then it goes right into like their final battle with the shark, which is like half an hour. Like they fight that fucking shark
yeah.
for half an hour and it's never boring. Like it is
No.
thrilling. They always do something different. And that's a great story. Like I love hearing that whole story. And I love seeing them compare their fucking wounds.
Mm.
You almost think they're gonna fuck after that, like in the was it
They're
Lethal
they're
Weapon 3,
bonding,
where
dude.
they do the same thing and then they like, yeah,
Yeah,
It's just male bonding.
I think it's just perfectly cast too.
oh yeah,
Like he, like it was like lightning capturing lightning in a ball. Like having all three of your main leads just being sort of like the perfect. Like you can't imagine anyone else being
Mm.
those characters, you know? And yeah, I mean, and I agree. I attribute that scene because you're right, Steve. It is like a very long dialogue scene, but Robert Shaw just delivers it like so perfectly. Like Quint, like I is he like everyone's favorite character, or
yeah.
do you
Yeah,
prefer
for
like
sure.
I mean,
Brody or
Brody's great too,
I
but
think all
like,
three and
but
Hooper too. Like I think they're all great in their own
mhm,
ways, but I think Quint is one just like
he's
he's like
special.
the badass. He's just special. He's the badass. He's fucking crushing beers. He's weathered. He's a
Hmm.
seafarer. He's just yeah.
He's singing
He's awesome.
shanties.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very unfortunate he passed away not too long after this, like 4 years
Hmm.
after this. Because like who knows, he could have had a great career, I think.
Yeah.
But
How'd you pass?
just heart attack,
Wow.
like yeah.
Gosh.
And you know what scares me about this one, or really gave me like a perspective in life?
Hmm.
I am closer in age to Quint in the movie than I am to you guys. Which, goddamn, he looks so old in the movie. Like,
Well, they
goddamn.
also had harder lives. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. People,
Oh
you
man,
can't
he was
compare to
fucking. He
people
was
back
stuck.
then.
Man, being stuck in the water with man-eating
Yeah,
sharks is gonna
Yeah,
age you for sure.
dude.
yeah, but
I love the fucking barrels, and I know they use that because the shark was fucking up, but I
Hmm.
can't imagine the movie without the barrels, dude.
it
Hmm.
actually
They
makes
just add,
sense. It
yeah,
because
Yeah.
you always know where the shark is. It's a great way to like situate it,
hmm,
and I love how surprised he is that it's still going down despite like
yeah,
3 barrels later on. Like
Right.
yeah.
one scene I have to mention. It's such a subtle fucking little scene, but I love it so much. Every time I see it, is when he crushes the Narragansett can, and
Hmm.
then Hooper crushes his little plastic cup
Yeah,
to like mimic him because he's so cool. I fucking smile every fucking time that scene comes on. It's amazing.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. And now Narragansett, every single fourth has a special Jaws theme
I'm
can
sure. Yeah.
I gotta,
because of this movie. It's
Yeah. Todd and I had a Narragansett together.
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I need to get some of those, put them on the shelf because that'd be a fun little tidbit.
Especially
Maybe I'll
this
go up
year.
there next. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can
Um.
find the special Jaws
Yeah.
ones if you
Grab it
want. I'll try to
for sure.
if I can find
Um.
them.
I love too when Brody shows up to the dock when they're gonna leave, and he's like got all this shit. And then Quint's like, good thing you brought your rubbers, and or something, because he's wearing like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
rubber suit. And I, my favorite part about that scene though is when like he's in the background, Quint, getting ready, and he never shuts the fuck up. He's
Mhm.
making fun of every single thing, every single one, and even when they pull out and they're in the water, he's still cracking jokes the entire way. I'm like, holy shit, I
Mhm.
love this guy.
Yeah, another great Quint scene is just him setting up his little like apparatus to
Oh,
fish. You know,
so
Yeah.
good.
that fucking seat, the way he just slowly
Yeah.
puts on his like his
Yeah,
straps
dude.
and
Yeah.
he
It's a
puts it
great
into
scene.
that little like cup holder thing. Amazing. Like they take their time with it and he just looks so badass in that fucking machine.
The little tick,
Yeah.
tick, 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 tick of the
Yeah.
wheel. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the way he
Yeah.
looks at it, like just
hmm
knowing that it's coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's we didn't mention it, but the orca itself is like its own
Oh yeah.
character. It has all its sort of different sort of contraptions and whatnot. I mean, also another amazing part of this movie as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a play out now for people. It's called "The Shark is Broken,"
Huh.
about like behind the scenes of Shaw. I know it was on Broadway, but I think it is coming to like to towns like kind of all around the country. So I
Cool.
haven't seen it yet, but it sounds pretty fucking awesome. So
Yeah. You know what I love too? Is the shark is just mean, dude. It's so fucking mean. Like
Mhm.
it has zero reason to go after them in the boat where there's easier prey
Right.
on land, but it's
Hmm.
like fuck it. And it rams it, it tries to sink it, it jumps on it. It's so fucking angry, man.
Dude, it is so mean that it told its fucking son to follow the Brodies to Hawaii. And Jaws the Revenge. Like,
Hey,
goddamn, that is just
wants his
mean
revenge, man.
spirited. Yes.
Which movie revisits the orca on the bottom of the ocean? Is it two?
Yeah,
I remember.
I think
Is
it
it
is too.
two? Yeah.
All three is not there at all.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. It's at
Yeah.
and
Right. So
four they
it's
go to
SeaWorld.
Hawaii. So I don't think
Yeah, it's
they.
got to be two then. Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's
Uh,
in Cruel Jaws, but yeah, they reuse so much footage, it would surprise me.
right.
Yeah,
Will
no,
this movie ever get the remake treatment? It's been
no,
50 years.
Probably. I think it will.
You
no.
think?
I
I don't know. I
mean,
don't know.
Once
they're just
Spielberg
gonna.
passes, I think it will.
You
Yeah, they're
think so?
making like their versions of it, you know, the Meg and stuff like that. I don't think
Ugh.
Yeah.
they're everyone that's going to call it like Jaws. It's just, it's got too much baggage attached to it. You know, people are going to hate it just before, even before it's out.
Yeah, I mean, how can you?
Maybe like a sequel, like Exorcist Believer and shit like that.
Mm,
Like
yeah,
a requel almost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Because when Jaws 4 came out, what, 30 years
A
ago or
long time ago,
something,
yeah.
35 years ago. So, like, what if they were like, all right, it's not
I,
a remake of Jaws, but we're
I think
making a new
Spielberg has
Jaws.
Maybe.
like has like the rights hold pretty tight. I know 2 to 4 has different rights because that's why they sell when you sell buy a Jaws pack, it's only 2 to 4. You have to buy Jaws separately.
Mhm.
So I don't know,
Oh,
maybe.
speaking of, I think the pre-order, yeah, I get my copy tomorrow. So Jaws, was it 50th, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
50th anniversary steelbook 4K, and it has like a hour and a half documentary that's new. So I can't wait to watch
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I have
So
the
that comes out.
45th anniversary Steelbook 4K from
Well, get the now you're getting the
yeah, I
50,
know.
bud.
I gotta just get
Just
them
get
like
every 5 years you get the fucking
yeah,
Jaws.
the Jaws. Yeah. Okay, last question. Unless you guys got something else.
Nope.
Nope.
How believable is it that they made it to shore, kicking on like basically a board?
Well, how far away were they? I
It looked like they
guess.
were too close. That's something, if I have to nitpick, is that they
Mhm.
seem very close to shore when the final confrontation goes down.
Well, he was heading towards the shallows, so I guess I mean he was
Wouldn't there
heading
be
that
people there
way.
like watching though? Like, hey, that fucking shark is on the boat.
I guess it depends where they, yeah, you would think, but
Maybe it
it's
was like
small
a,
town.
that's
Like
true.
they're far, if they're still far enough offshore. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
the thing that scares me about that, Steve, is all the blood in the water. Other sharks would have been like, hell yeah, let's go. And then these guys are just flipping around on a makeshift
Well,
board.
yeah, yeah. They said how there are a few sharks there, but I
Ugh,
mean they're pretty deep in the ocean, so I think there would be because they did find another shark, like you
Right.
know. So yeah,
they were tired
They were
for
yeah,
tired.
sure. I like how the barrel makes a cameo in part two.
it does. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
planter, right?
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
not keep that fucking thing. Like a reminder of your near death.
I mean, if you kept it, sell on eBay.
That's right.
Remember the
Two,
old?
two,
Remember that
two,
shark attack?
two, the best sequel? I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not counting Cruel Jaws, sure.
Uh,
I mean, two
if we
has its
count Cruel
issues.
Jaws, honestly, I would do Cruel Jaws
Me
if it's
too.
allowed. I think two is just boring, man.
Yeah, I mean, we covered it on
Yeah, we
on the
did. We
show. So
did. Go back and
we
listen
got
to it.
everything but 4, so we got to do maybe next year. We'll
The Revenge.
complete the series and
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to.
It's just an example of a movie that didn't need a sequel or a
Right.
franchise. Just one and done, perfect film.
Yeah,
So
it had obviously it had to though with how successful it was. But
Sure.
all right, I think that pretty much covers all of Jaws. So let's get into rating it. I think you'll know what probably all of our ratings are, but I'll start us off. Man, 5 out of 5. It's fucking the perfect shark movie, perfect summer movie. So much. It's just a part of pop culture to this day. Everyone knows that theme song. You can hum it, in your head, just me saying it. Yeah, I mean, Spielberg, one of Spielberg's best for sure. It's amazing. 5 out of 5 for Jaws.
agreed, man. It's a 5. It's a damn near perfect film. Characters, I mean, it's a 5 for the reasons we talked about. It's just fucking amazing. And dude, $7 million budget, that's insane. And it made 477 mil. That's fucking nuts, man. First summer blockbuster, right? Very first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what they credit as the first
Right.
thing.
So yeah, 5 out of 5.
I mean, same thing. I mean, I made a fucking room out of my house, Jaws themed. Love the film. I mean, part of my short for the final episode is shark themed a lot, and a big part of that is because I have an affinity for shark movies because of this movie. So easy 5 out of 5 for me.
Mhm. And what do our friends over at Letterboxd have to say about this one? I gotta say shame on you people. 3.9 out of 5 over on Letterboxd. Why is that so low?
Because a lot of normies watch it, so it's on. It's like one of
3
those.
out of
Because
3.9.
if I go to my
It's gotta be
friends,
at
it's
least in the
4.4.
fours. Yeah.
How are your friends rating it? Like probably horror fans, probably higher.
Yeah, I mean, I don't pay for Letterboxd,
Okay, right.
but all of my friends, there's nothing below a 4.5,
Right. Yeah,
so.
exactly. So
But yeah, all right. Well, I'm sad about that, but yeah, 5 out of 5. The three ratings that matter, 5 out of 5 across the board
4.7
for the
on the
horror
record for
squad.
my friends. So yeah.
For your friends. All right.
exactly.
Smart people. Smart people. Alrighty, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Do not forget, though, to stick around for our interviews with the director and stars of the film Alma and the Wolf, Ethan Embry, Lee, and director Michael Patrick Jann at the very end of this episode. But next week, what do we got, Steve?
Oh, we are completing another series with a title that Todd picked, and that is, oh man, Rob Zombie again. We're going to end up doing his whole filmography on this podcast, and that is The Devil's Rejects. His best film? Question mark. A lot of people debate between this and House of a Thousand Corpses, so it'll be interesting to revisit and discuss that. So, Devil's Rejects.
Freebird.
Yeah, shit the bed.
What do we have left for zombie horror wise? Is this the last one?
31.
Okay.
We haven't done.
Awful.
There's a few, but not that many.
Is there a
Like
few?
we've,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, there's like that animated one, like El Super
Yeah, I
Beast or
don't count
whatever.
those. Yeah.
No, we've done most
Let's
of
see.
his
Corpses, yes.
Yeah.
Lords of
Mhm.
Salem, yes. Devil's
Yep.
Rejects coming up.
Mhm.
We did the
31 might be the
Munsters.
last.
Is it the Munsters? Is that what you
Yes.
did?
We did.
Yep.
Yeah,
We covered
Monsters.
it.
We did.
31. Yeah.
We did Halloween. We did Halloween 2.
Yeah, I'm checking
I
right
feel
now.
like we're
So,
missing something in the middle there.
no, I think.
No, is that it?
Let's see.
31
So,
is-
House, Halloween, Devil's Rejects, Halloween 2, Lord of Salem, 3 from Hell, Monsters.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah,
some-
it's really just
Just
31
31.
and El Super Beasto, but I also wouldn't count it. So
I feel
Yeah.
like we cover that, Joe? Or was that the old days?
We did.
on
We
Three
did.
Guys-
We
Three Guys
yeah.
Hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the
Okay,
Three
okay.
Guys days, we did cover 31. But yeah. All right. Well, for the
I'm
Rob,
picking it.
who needs a Rob Zombie retrospective, we'll just go, we'll do it. We'll do it live, I guess.
Fuck it.
But yeah, so stick around next week for The Devil's Rejects. It should be streaming pretty much anywhere. You should be able to find it pretty easily. In the meantime, you can get up with the podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. You can also email us anytime, the Horror Squad Podcast at gmail.com. But the best way to keep up with the podcast is through our Discord, totally and completely free to join. It's linked over on our Instagram, or you can send us an email or a DM on one of our socials, and we will get you a link to join that Discord. movie club every single month hosted by Steve, as well as a ton of channels to sift through over there. We post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff to do with our movie, The Final Episode, as well as you'll find out stuff like our Lynn Shay interview, which we announced prior over on there and everything. So come and join us on our Discord. Also, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app if you haven't already. That helps the show greatly. Or if you'd like to buy merch, tpublic.com, the Horror Squad podcast. All this, once again, is linked over on our Instagram. Or if you can't find stuff, send us an email. We'll point you in the right direction. And that's about it. So don't forget, stick around for our interviews with the stars of Alma and the Wolf. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, where today we are joined by some very special guests. Their new movie, Alma and the Wolf, will be hitting select theaters and digital on June 20th. It's a film full of suspense, paranoia, and reality-twisting tension, and I'm thrilled to be joined by two of its stars. You know them from countless projects, but horror fans will know them best from films like The Devil's Candy, Cheap Thrills, The Exorcist television show, and of course, this year's breakout hit, Sinners. Please welcome Ethan Embry and Lee. Thank you both so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Anybody that throws out a Cheap Thrills callback.
Love it. What classic. First off, what pulled you in to this story, and what was your first reaction when you read the script for Alma and the Wolf?
You want to take it, Lily?
I can give you the short version. I read this and I was really intrigued by Alma, the character, and I didn't really know how to categorize the film in the beginning, and I couldn't really put a finger on who Alma was, which was really what piqued my interest, and the big reveal was really what sealed the deal, because I am such a huge fan of psychological thrillers. So I definitely wanted to play someone like Alma, especially because she's so incredibly different from who I am as a person.
Yes. Can you each sort of break down your characters in the film and let the listeners know?
Sure. I play Rin Accord. And he is on a journey when his son goes missing. And he has a very warped sense of who he is and his place in the world. And as the film unfolds, you realize that he's letting his ego steer his decision-making process. His bad ego. We have a good ego, we got a bad ego, and he's letting the bad one steer the ship.
And Alma is a woman you see at the top of the film. She has a little dog that was murdered by a wolf and a pack of goats, and you don't quite know how that's even possible. But later on, you learn that it spirals into more of a story of kind of what it means, what happens when your trauma kind of fragments your psyche. And so you really then begin to have trouble differentiating different parts of what is real and what is not.
Yeah, which is a great segue into my next question. The film plays with, distortion so much that, you really don't know, what's happening a lot of the movie. Did that, bleed into the filming experience at all for you guys? What was the atmosphere like on set?
I mean, I loved the environment of making this film. We would meet with Michael almost every night to work on the following day's stuff. We'd go up to his house, have a dinner, talk over the next day's work. And yes, as the reader, the script is also very confusing. It bounces all over the place. And having those times with Michael to tell us what those changes each represent was invaluable. I mean, I read the script at least 30 times.
Wow.
the path is there.
Hmm.
You know, once you learn where it's going, it's there. And like it was fun thinking of how we could drop little nuggets, you know.
Hmm.
Like Lily and I would sit and do certain scenes without spoilers, and I would want to hear how Lily was going to deliver a specific line so that because I'm shooting my side before she shoots hers. So I want to hear how you're going to deliver this. So then I could interpret that understanding into my performance.
Hmm.
That makes no sense to anybody watching this whatsoever.
It does to me. No, I mean both your performances were just so great in this movie. There's just so many memorable scenes and really memorable imagery throughout. So without spoiling anything, was there a particular scene that, really stuck with you after filming it?
Mm, stuck. Physically, a lot of the scenes stuck with me for a little
Hmm.
while.
Sure.
Um, uh, and then I mean, it was just the Pacific Northwest is a special
Mhm.
place. Um, I hate the trope of saying like the location is a character because it's not. That's lazy. But it played a very important part in this story. And being out there in the elements, like in the elements, um, it it was a special experience making this movie. I'm very lucky that I got to be involved. I'm very fortunate that it was with the people that I got to work on this film with. Having Lily out there being so open and able and having the endurance to complete this was key. Um, and it's great to see that it's getting seen soon, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My time is running very short here, unfortunately. So to wrap it up, where can fans, find you guys next, upcoming projects, social media they can follow you on? Go ahead and plug it.
I other than the fact that Spider Noir is coming out next year, I can't tell you anything else about it. I'm not allowed to, but I'm very excited for everyone to see it.
I've had a very fortunate little run here. There's a couple things coming out that I'm really excited about. One in particular, I think because I just finished it. It's this film called By Any Means, a true story about the KKK murders of Vernon Dahmer in 1968. And God, that director, elegant. He is something special, and that cinematographer. I'm really excited for y'all to see that film. It's going to be a fun one.
Excellent. Well, we're very excited, me and the listeners, to check all of that out. So once again, everyone, please go and check out Alma and the Wolf. It will be hitting select theaters and digital on June 20th. Do not miss it. Ethan and Lily, thank you again so much for joining me today.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, where today I'm joined by a very special guest. His new film, the dark, eerie, and deeply psychological Alma and the Wolf, is coming to select theaters and digital on June 20th. Please welcome the director of the film, Michael Patrick Jann. Michael, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start at the beginning. What drew you to this film? What stood out to you when you first read the script?
Well, the thing that stood out to me the most, I think, is that it had such a strong psychological foundation, so that I felt really comfortable making a horror movie that was not one horror movie, but was all the horror movies sort of rolled into one movie. Like it's a folk horror movie, it's a body horror movie, it's a murder mystery, it's a Twin Peaks, it's a Silent Hill, it's got a little bit of the sort of interpersonal family trauma horror thing happening. There's a lot of different genres that kind of roll into this thing, but that because there is such a strong psychological foundation to the characters and also to the premise of the movie, that it's sort of like you can watch the movie and sort of the movie drives through a lot of different tones, from very very dark to very gory to very sort of like eerie to sort of comedic to sort of absolutely batshit ludicrous.
Yeah.
And it drives around all those things. And I think that, as an audience member, like I got the chance to sort of like toy with an audience that way. But then in the end, in the last 20 minutes, we have an ending that ties the whole thing up, so that there's a reason why it was that way the whole time. And not only is there just a reason where you can go like, oh, I get it, but there's a reason that like hits you in the heart and like really hard. Like it's got a really strong emotional ending, and the actual weight of the emotion, without giving anything away, the weight of the emotional ending is what sort of makes the rest of the movie, like it answers all the questions.
Yes.
And so it ties it up in a way where it's not where parts of the movie are a little bit heady, where you're like, well, what's going on here? But then the movie ends on the last 20 minutes of the movie are a slide into a sort of emotional horror that is really hits really hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you just mentioned, I mean, the story it's so layered. You deal with, paranoia, fractured reality, grief, amongst many other
Mhm.
things.
Yeah. Mhm.
How did you want to reflect that when filming this, visually and tonally?
Well, one of the things that visually was important to me was the location itself.
Yeah.
So finding the original script was sort of set in Iowa, and it was really important to me. So I wanted to move it to the coast to have the interplay of the dark forest. I wanted to go to a place where the dark forest meets the ocean, you know, where there's and I think that's the that because that's the psychological that mirrored the psychological terrain of the movie pretty well. And then I could kind of go back and forth from the woods to the ocean to from the water to the trees into the grasses and all of those things, and have all that natural world be represented. I think the other thing that's important about having such a strong natural world that is recognizable is that it takes the sort of disparate and tonal elements and coheres them. Do you know what I mean? I'm a huge, 70s fan of the 70s movies that's my, my thing. So to have that kind of like strong physical reality to sort of really get the feet on the ground, that kind of like that feeling of there. You're really there.
Yeah.
Like, you're really in, like that kind of Altman-y, you're really in this place.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even have this question honestly, but after hearing that, sort of your love for 70s films and whatnot, did you have sort of a guiding principle or a visual theme, when directing this one?
Well, I mean, my visually, what I try to do, there's so many ways to answer that question. Here's
Sure.
one answer. One answer is that whenever you shoot anything, it's really important, like Mr. Hitchcock said, is like it's important to know what point of view you're in. Like where not that like necessarily like a straight on point of view shot, but like where is the audience? Where are you putting the audience? Are they with the character? Are they back from the character? Like looking at the whole thing? Like and that really says a lot about how it is that you where you put the camera and what lenses you use,
Yeah.
Locations will dictate a little bit of that, but the big thing is like, where is the audience standing in this movie? Are they standing? Are they in an objective or a subjective place? And that tells you whether you want to be like, that tells you whether you want to be in like a two shot or a close up, or are you featuring the environment because the environment is what's expressing what's happening in the character's heart. So that's one thing, but that's true of any project that I work on. For this one, we also had the thing of like we were trying to mirror and it's a low budget movie, so this isn't a guarantee that you can do this all the time. But the Hieronymus Bosch painting, Garden of Earthly Delights, like if you look at that, we're basically using the palette at night and daytime of that.
Oh,
So that
nice.
sort of like kind of proto-surrealist like vision of hell and horror, trying to graft that onto a very realistic small beach town like in Oregon. And I think we were reasonably successful at the getting those golds and reds and blues and sort of from his paintings into our movie.
No, definitely. And you mentioned the town in this film, and
Mm.
it really is its own character. It feels like in this film. I just love sort of small town feel movies, and
Right.
I feel like you really captured it well here.
Mhm.
How did you and your team sort of build onto that setting? It was all on location.
Yeah, it was mostly it was more finding than building.
Sure.
But there was an extensive finding process. Like I think I said, the original draft took place in Iowa in farmland, and I wanted to move it to the coast. And it was really, you know, during the strike, we were ready to go with a sort of more farmlandy version of this. And it was during the strike, when the strike happened, I was driving up the coast because all of a sudden I had nothing to do. And as I was driving up the coast, that was with this notion of like these trees and this ocean, like that's where the movie needs to be. Like this is I actually called my producing partner from Mendocino, from the cliffs in Mendocino, and was like, this is what we need to do. Like this is what the movie should look like. We need to find this. So he was like, well, I'm not doing anything. So he flew up to Oregon and rented a car and he drove the entire coast of Oregon and
Wow.
he took pictures and took videos in every town of the entire coast and sent them to me. And then we, and we found, Pacific City, which is where we shot it. And, then went and, sort of like you find what's actually in Pacific City. You let the inspiration come from there of like, oh, look at all this cool, this is a cool thing. And we'll use that kind of house. And these golden sea grasses are going to become a major visual motif now. That's how you do it. It's like partially planning and partially taking advantage of what the world presents to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and it played out so well for this film.
Thank
And
you.
let's switch to some of the effects in this
Yeah.
film. From what I recall, I don't think you used really any CGI in this. It seemed to be mostly all practical. If I'm
Well,
mistaken, but to me it seemed like
yeah.
all practical.
Yeah.
What was sort of your biggest challenges in creating some of those special effects moments
Yeah.
and the wolf and especially the
Yeah.
wolf moments in general?
Yeah. Well, the wolf, the practical effects are done by Jim Ojala, who's phenomenal and does a great job. And he and his team are just a pleasure and a joy to work with because that wolf takes about 5 or 6 people to operate.
Oh wow.
Um, and it's a big task. And the goats, and also it was a low budget movie. It wasn't a movie where we had like a lot of time to experiment and money to throw away on anything. But he did such a great job. And so there was, but the approach he used mostly practical effects. It has to do with one, it has to do with like I said, the 70s movie thing. But I also think that even though the wolf is obviously not CG. He obeys the laws of physics. Even when he moves on sand, he's a little clumsy. He's not like super. He's not like he's a physic. There's a physicality to all of the effects that I think. While you could go have a sort of like 80s horror movie, like John Carpenter version of like, oh, that looks a little weird now. Like, especially because now you can make a digital version of stuff that's like, ridiculous. Like AI can whip you up a wolf that'll do anything and look like it was photographed. But I do think that because ultimately in the end, the point of this movie is to land the emotion. It's to have the fun with the horror movie stuff and to honor the all of the different genres that we're driving through. But in the end, what we want is just to land the emotion. And I think when you start using CG effects, you lose some buy-in. Like you may get a momentary like, wow, that whole city blew up. But like part of you knows that that whole city didn't blow up.
Right.
Like I'm telling you that a 9-foot wolf ran across that beach. And it did. Like you can see it. It's like running in sand. You can tell. And those goats, they're really out there at that. Like those goat people, like they're really there. Um, and the goat and the real goats, like all that stuff is just really there. And I feel like that what it does is, even though in some of the moments you might get a little like, that kind of like a little like a critical thing that we all get when we watch TV is like, oh, I don't know, it looks a little corny or something like that. In the end, it's all part of packing the emotional punch. And also, like if you don't like John Carpenter movies, get out.
100%. I mean, on this podcast, we're Carpenter or die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you mentioning.
Oh, you know what? I want to throw one other thing out there,
Go
which is
for
that
it.
there are some digital effects in the movie, but they're
Okay.
absolutely seamless. And it was Clint Culp who was the our
Okay.
maestro in that, and Clint and Jim worked together really well. So it was, even the digital effects went towards keeping it real, like of making it of like accentuating the realness and the there-ness of things, the physicality. Mhm.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's funny, like you sort of mentioning your love of 70s films and stuff, and now I'm seeing it come through like in this film. I'm thinking back to, especially sort of, I guess I'll call it without spoiling anything, sort of the goat scene, sort of in general with the wolf. It was very like satanic panics type stuff going on there.
Right.
I mean, my personal favorite scene in the entire movie,
Oh,
honestly.
cool.
But
That's so gratifying because that was so
Yeah.
physically difficult to do.
Oh, I can imagine.
So miserable.
I think a lot of people, it's a very, very memorable scene. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate it when they do see it. So let's switch over to your cast. I actually had as part of this episode, people hear the interview as well. I was able to talk to Ethan Embry and Lee from your cast as well. But you have a stacked cast here. Ethan Embry. He was my youth. I grew up with him in the 90s watching him. So he's always a treat anytime he's on screen. And Lee from this year's breakout hit Sinners, which, I mean, what a treat to have her in your film as well. So, can you tell us about your cast and how it was to work with all of them?
Yeah, well, they're fantastic. I mean, what a great cast. I'm so lucky. I mean, without giving too much away, Ethan carries like a huge emotional burden in this movie. Like it's really difficult when you imagine the Ethan who's in the version of the character who's in that first interrogation scene, that who's sort of like put upon and doesn't feel very effective, and you can tell he doesn't have a lot of self-confidence, or he's not got a lot of agency, versus what he is at the end of the movie. Like to be able to like traverse that, like for one actor to like so convincingly be this guy, but also be that guy I mean, that's quite a burden. And also for a movie that revolves around someone who's like it's a truly horrific movie at its core. Just for an actor to be in proximity to that kind of horror, like day after day, really wears on you. And it takes a really strong person to be able to do that. And Ethan's a really strong person and a really strong actor. He's got a lot of craft, and he really brought it. Like you can imagine, some of those days were really hard for him, emotionally. And Lee Jun Lee is also like her character too. Like there are three very distinctive modes for her character or actually there's four now that I think of it. Like that go back and forth, and the woman who like can't get her life together versus what happens with her in the middle of the movie versus how it turns out in the end of the movie. Like those are some very distinct characters, and the fact that they were able to embody those characters so fully and keep their feet on the ground and keep the thing grounded is what allows the rest of the movie to be so batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a great segue into my next question.
Can I give one more shout out? Is Jack,
absolutely,
the actor who plays Jack,
he was great.
He's my actual son.
Oh, that's amazing. He was great. He was so good in this. And Ethan mentioned, I think during our interview that he read the script 30 plus times to prepare for this role, because of sort of the emotional undertaking that it took. Which leads me into my next question. When dealing with a movie like this, in those surreal and emotional moments, what kind of direction do you find yourself giving the most to these actors?
Well, let's see. I mean, usually the point is like the movie, they have to believe it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there are definitely some things that happen in the movie. Like the scene that you were talking about earlier where the goats they're on the beach, and Ethan saw that. And he was like, I don't think he was sort of like, what? What is that? Like that's the thing? Like, and he was like, okay, but he took it in. It's like, the point is like, he both acknowledges like the sort of like mind-blowing weirdness of it with the character. Like the character he wove it into his performance, the reality of the thing in the performance. So the idea is just to like, you have to take it seriously. And in the parts where Alma, where Lily, her character sort of undergoes some pretty dramatic changes. The thing is 100% buy-in all the time.
Yeah. Every director is so different. So how was, the collaborative process between you and the actors? And also, did you reach out to, the screenwriter, Abby Miller, at all during this process?
Well, not while we were shooting probably, but so here's so Abby wrote the script, and the script is the original script had the great emotional core of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it did not have lots of other things in it. So we worked together. We actually worked together for quite a while, some months,
Wonderful.
to rewrite the movie into the movie that you see now. Like there were no goats in the original version of the script. The ending was different, pretty different, and there was no baseball part to it. There was some. So it was but the emotional, but the core was there. The psychological core of it was there, and that's where we worked on sort of bringing that out together. So yeah, so Abby and I worked pretty closely together on that.
Excellent. It's funny that you mentioned the goats because there's on this podcast we have a running joke. I'm the person that loves goats in like every movie. So
this is your movie.
this is right. It's so funny. But Michael, we are running out of time, unfortunately. But it has been a joy. I do have one final question for you though. And I think it's an important one. You know, when people walk away from this film, what do you hope they, you know, take away from it, and, you know, lingers with them?
Well, it's two answers to that. The first one is this, is that the movie is very self-consciously created to be watched more than once. And I think you understand what I mean by that without giving anything away. But if you were to watch this movie and get to the end of it, one of the things I hope people go is like, oh, I need to watch that again. Because when you watch it the second time, you will very much be watching a different movie.
Definitely.
And you'll see a lot of, there's a whole nother layer of sort of interconnectedness and meaning that there's no chance you couldn't possibly quite get. It's hinted at what's there, but there's another layer that of enjoyment to be had there. And I think that to me that was also a real opportunity and a real thing I wanted to focus on, because in this age of streaming, you know, why not? You know, watch it more than once, because you'll get something out of it. There's a density to it that will reward second watches or group watches too. I think people watching it together would be a good thing. And then the second thing I would say is that what I really want people to get to the end of it is go like, even if they sort of were like, I don't mind audiences being challenged or slightly not confused necessarily, but sort of like knocked off their comfortable place in movies. But that this movie does that very consciously for parts of it, but it also wraps it up at the end, and there are no like dangling threads. Everything gets wrapped up at the end. You get a very satisfying ending. But what I'd love for people to do after they get to that ending is go like, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. I don't think they will. I mean, it was, I mean, there's so many sort of memorable scenes throughout. And I think, you know, you wrap it up nicely at the end with a nice little bow. And I think the message at the end is very important and will really speak to so many people out there.
I hope so.
Absolutely. I think it definitely will. So Michael, thank you again for joining us today. Everyone, make sure to go check out Alma and the Wolf. It hits select theaters and it hits digital on June 20th. Don't miss it. Go check it out. Go watch the trailer and then go watch the movie. Go support low budget horror. Like Michael said. So also, Michael, one last thing. Anything else you get in the pipeline that you'd like to promote, or where can people follow you for updates?
Well, I'm hopefully going to be doing another movie in the fall. It's a comedy with my friend Thomas Lennon from Reno 911.
Oh, nice.
We're doing a movie together, and you can follow me on Instagram, Michael P. Jann.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Michael. And once again, everyone, June 20th, don't miss it. Alma and the Wolf. See ya.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.